Namaskaram, friends. So, in this video, I am going to talk about four important issues related to history. And these issues are very, very important because by knowing the facts, analysis, and context behind the issue, we understand our past in a very beautiful manner and in a very informative manner. And these issues are basically related to in the Indian context. That means Indian history. Okay. In later lecture, I also recorded video on world history, regional history, but this one is particularly deal with Indian history. We know that history of India, tradition of India, culture of India is very, very rich, and it go much, much beyond than you can say BC, before Christ, and other you can say religions. Like it is estimated that culture of India, history of India is go beyond 5,000 years to 15,000 years ago. Okay, so it is very important to understand the history in its real form and also gain knowledge, gain perspective from the what happened in our past and apply this knowledge in our future so that we are not going to commit the same crime again and again, and you can say create a better future for our generation as well as for the future generation. Okay, so it is very, very important to understand the history in its true manner, in its real manner, as well as in its uh, simplest form, so that it is not a burdensome for us. It is a joyful, playful process for us, and also apply this knowledge in our day-to life so that we are not going to commit the same crime again and again, same you can say lacunas again and again, and also take advantage or take inspiration from the history. If take inspiration from the history, whatever great things are happened in our past. Okay, so let's start with today's lecture. First one is, remember, Raya, Gaj, Kesari. This one is common. Daya, Gaj, Kesari. So these are, you can divide this term into three forms: first, second, third. First, second, and third. Okay. These two and three are common. Gaja Kesari, Gaja Kesari. First one and second one is Raya and Daya. So what it is, what is Raya Gaja Kesari and Daya Gaja Kesari? We understand a few you can say information about it, and also relate this with our current situation. Second one is Kudu Mian Malay. Okay, Kudu Mian Malay. Okay, this is a terminology. You understand what Kudu Mian Malay is and what is its importance in our history, as well as why it is important for us to know this issue currently. Third one is Dastak. Okay, it is related to East India Company, British rule on Indian Empire. So Dastak, a terminology. Next one is books and author. Some important books and their authors. Like some important books you can Buddha Charita. Okay, like Buddha Charita is a book which is written by Ashwaghosa. Okay, so in this manner I talk about 3 to 4 important books and their authors, as well as the context, the significance of this book. Okay, so let's talk about first one, Raya Gaja Kesari and Daya Gaja Kesari. These two terminology are titles of Kakatiya dynasty. We know that in Kakatiya dynasty, in the current, if you draw the current map of India, in the Andhra Pradesh region, that dynasty is ruled in our past. Okay, so this terminology, these titles are of the Kakatiya dynasty. In that kingdom, in Kakatiya dynasty kingdom, these titles are given to the kings or royal persons. Next one is the title Daya Gaja Kesari was given to the first Kakatiya king, Prataparudra. Okay, Prataparudra. The first Kakatiya king is Prataparudra, and the title Daya Gaja Kesari was given to this king. Next one is the Kakatiya dynasty coins were inscribed with this title. When you see the coins of the Kakatiya dynasty, on that coin, this inscription like Daya Gaja Kesari and Praja and Raya Gaja Kesari are inscribed. Okay. Next one is Raya Gaja Kesari title belong to Rudrama Devi. Okay. Remember, Raya Gaja Kesari title belong to Rudrama Devi. She inherited this title from her father. Rudrama, you can say Rudrama Devi is a queen who inherited this title from his father, and the title Raya Gaja Kesari is belong to this queen. Okay, so remember Daya Gaja Kesari, king, Raya Gaja Kesari, queen. And the title will also inscribed on the coin. Okay, so both the title, Raya Gaja Kesari and Daya Gaja Kesari, both are inscribed on the coin of the Kakatiya dynasty. Raya Gaja Kesari is given to a queen called Rudrima Devi, and Daya Gaja Kesari given to a first king of Kakatiya dynasty called Prataparudra. Okay, so remember Kakatiya important points. Kakatiya dynasty, Daya Gaja Kesari to the king Prataparudra, Raya Gaja Kesari to queen called Rudrima Devi, and these two titles and these two Raya Gaja Kesari and Raya Gaja Kesari are title of the Kakatiya dynasty, and also these titles are inscribed on the coins. Both the titles are inscribed on the coin. Okay, so in this map you can clearly see this is the location, or you can say this is a map of Kakatiya dynasty, and these are the coins on which this title Raya Gaya Kesari and Daya Gaya Kesari are inscribed. So see the coin, also see the location of Kakatiya dynasty. Okay, so I hope you understand about Raja Gaya Kesari and Daya Gaya Kesari. Now let's move on to the second topic called Kudu Mian Malai. Okay, what is Kudu Mian Malai and why it is very important for us to understand this terminology in current time. So much before modern musical notation, in modern musical notation, much before that notation took root in the West, classical raga were inscribed in the Kudumiyan Malai temple in Pudukkottai. Pudukkottai is a place in India. So in Pudukkottai, a temple called Kudumiyan Malai. Okay, Kudumiyan Malai temple is situated there. So on that temple, much before modern musical note take root, much before the roots of the modern musical notation, classical raga were inscribed on the temple's wall of Kudumiyan Malai. So it is very, very important because nowadays we develop notes of music so that we understand the music, create a better music. But much before the modern musical notation take root, before that, classical raga are inscribed on the Kudumiyan Malai temple of Pudukkottai. Okay. The inscription from the 7th century, remember, the inscription from the 7th century carved on the hard rock of the cave temple contain classical raga. Okay, this time 7th century means you can say 1000 plus 3 plus 1700 years ago. From the current situation, 1700 years ago, these classical ragas are inscribed on the hard rock cave temple. Okay, so these ragas are inscribed on the hard rock of the cave temple of the Kudumiyan Malai of Pudukkottai. So remember, Kudumiyan Malai is a temple in a Pudukkottai district, in a Pudukkottai area. Pudukkottai is a place. On that place, Kudumiyan Malai temple is located, and on the hard rock cave of Kudumiyan Malai, classical raga are inscribed, and this is, you can say, of a time of 7th century AD. This Kudumiyan Malai temple is built during the Pallava era. The temple stands testimony of the king Mahendra Deva Burman expertise in musical composition. Mahendra Deva Burman is an expert in a musical composition, and that temple is belong to that era. And Mahendra Deva Burman is belong to the Pallava era. So in the Pallava, this temple is built during the Pallava era, and it states testimony of the king Mahendra Deva Burman. That means Mahendra Deva Burman, a king of Pallava era, built that temple on which musical connotation are inscribed. He is said to have coined a new composition of Sangir Nasdi Raga. Okay, so Mahendra Deva Burman coined a new composition of Sangir Nasdi Raga and carved it in Devanagari script. Okay, so that king carved this raga in Devanagari script, and the new composition these raga are a new composition of Sangir Nasdi Raga. Okay, so Mahendra Deva Burman coined a new composition called Sangir Nasdi Raga and carved in Devanagari script. So script is important, name of raga is important, and name of the king is important. So remember, Mahendra Deva Burman, name of raga is Sangir Nasdi, and script is Devanagari. It is said that Mahendra Deva Burman, also called Pallava I, ruled over the place between 630 to 660 AD. Okay, so during that time period, Mahendra Deva Burman of a Pallava king ruled that area, and he built the temple called Kudumiyan Malai And on the hard rock of the temple, this on the hard rock of the temple, these classical raga is inscribed. Okay, and remember, he coined a new composition, Sangir Nasdi Raga. Okay, the musical inscription are each on the rock measuring 30 feet width and 40 feet length. Almost you can say square, but not perfect square. Okay, so the musical inscription are each on the rocks measuring 30 feet width and 40 feet length of that area. On that area, this inscription are etched. According to the researchers, according to the researchers, Kudumian Malay inscription have 7 subsections. Okay, this inscription have 7 subsections which have the words like Madhyama Grama, Sajda Grama, Panchami, and Kaisaki Madhyama connected with music. So this terminology are connected with music, and the inscription on Kudumian Malay have a 7 subsections. Remember, this one is also important because many times in question it talk about how many subsections. So you have to remember 7 subsections, and also the terminology related to which you can say branch. So branch is music, and the keywords are Madhyama Grama, Sajda Grama, Panchami, and Kaisaki Madhyama. So Panchami and Kaisaki Madhyama, Madhyama Grama, and Sajda Grama are keywords of a music, and it is inscribed at the Mudi Manai temple of Pudikotte. And this inscription have a 7 subdivisions, 7 subsections. The notation on the inscription have been coined for the Veena instrument. Okay, so the notation on this inscription, what is the classical raga, what is the notation of that raga is for the Veena instrument with 7 strings, but it can also be used for 8 string Veena. Veena have I do not know, but various type of Veena, some of 7, some of 8, some of let's say maybe 6. So this inscription are for 7 string Veena, but people can also use it for a 8 string Veena because their details are described on the wall. The inscription carries information on how they could be played with both. Okay, so inscription related to 8 string Veena and 7 string Veena and how they can use this musical composition for performing the music is inscribed on the walls of temples. Kudum Yanmirai was a major place for the Pandya, Chola, Vanadhirayar, Mutharayar, and Thondaiman kings. So these are the names from the king: Pandya, Chola, Vanadhirayar, Mutharayar, Tonda, Yaman kings. Okay, so this was a major place for these kingdoms. Though the palace is under the control of ASI, Archaeological Survey of India, the Tamil Nadu Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowment Department (HRC) take care of the temple, and the devotees and cultural enthusiasts are allowed during morning and evening hours. Okay, if you are a devotee or cultural enthusiast, you are allowed in the temple in the morning and evening hours. And it is though it is under the control of SI, but HR&C department are take care of the temples. Okay, so I hope you understand the whole importance related to that temple, during which kingdom this is formed, what is inscribed on the wall. Okay, and what are how many subsections related to which instrument. So all this information I give you in a very detail. So clearly see this is you can say a rock, or you can say hard rock on which these musical notations are inscribed, and it is a 14 feet versus 13 feet, and these are for 7 string Veena. Just a minute. This is for a 7 string Veena, and you can also use for 8 string Veena because instruction are written on the rock, as well as it is during the Pallava kingdom, Mahendra Dev Varma. Okay, and it is also important location for Pandya, Cheraj, and other things. So I hope you understand the full information related to Kudu Mian Malay. I think Kudu Mian Malay. Yes. Now let's move on to the next topic called Dastak. So Dastak is a 18th century. Dastak in the 18th century Bengal, a permit. It is basically a permit. In the 18th century of Bengal, Dastak is a permit exempting European trade, mostly of the British East India Company, from paying customs and transit duty on their private trade. You know that if any company doing trade in a privately, then that company have to pay custom duty as well as other transit taxes to the government of that country. But Dastak in the time of 18th century of Bengal, it is a permit exempting European traders. If European traders come to India for trade, they do not have to pay such type of duty during that time. So this Dastak term is related to that area. So that, and it is mostly for, not for all, not for French, not for Dutch, okay, but it is mostly for British East India Company. Okay, so this permit exempt that British India Company from paying custom and transit duty on their private trade. So very, very, very important, because later on it is that you can say later on that Dastak become a problem for Indian rulers, because through this permit they try to control over India and capture most of the part of the Indian territory. The name comes from the Persian word pass. Okay. So this Dastak, it came from the Persian word pass. The practice was introduced by the Robert Clive. Okay, this practice, like practice of Dastak, is introduced by the Robert Clive, one of the creator of the British power in India, when he had Mir Jafar installed as a Nawab of Bengal in 1757. So when Robert Clive installed Mir Jafar as a Nawab of Bengal during 1757, so he take advantage of that, their influence, and introduces the Dastak system. So remember the name of the creator of the British power. Remember the name of the, you can say, authority of that time, called Robert Clive. Okay, and he has a power. He throw away many rulers and install rulers on their own choice, and that rulers who are installed have to follow their instruction, because they are coming to power with the help of that authority. So Robert Clive take advantage of that and install Mir Jafar as a Nawab in Bengal, and take advantage of a Dastak for free trade in India. The attempt of Mir Jafar's succession, Mir Qasim, to annul the use of Dastak led to the overthrow of 1763 to 1764. Okay. See, Mir Qasim, you can say Mir Qasim is the attempt of Mir Jafar's successor, Mir Qasim. Mir Qasim is a successor of Mir Jafar. Mir Jafar tried to annul the system of Dastak, but this led to the overthrow of Mir Qasim in 1763 to 64, and the exercise to avoid control of Bengal by the British. So later on, when successor of Mir Jafar called Mir Qasim tried to annul the Dastak system, Robert Clive overthrew them and take control of the Bengal. Okay. Free Dastak for private trade were finally abolished by Warren Hastings. Okay, another governor of Bengal. Warren Hastings, he is a governor of Bengal in 1775. He abolished the Dastak system for private trade. Okay, introduced by Robert Clive, annulled by Warren Hastings, abolished by Warren Hastings, and Mir Qasim is a successor of Mir Jafar, and during the time of Mir Jafar is installed by the Robert Clive. So during the time of Mir Jafar, Dastak system is, you can say, introduced in the Bengal. The system put the Indian trader at a grave disadvantage. This system, Dastak system, put Indian trader at a grave disadvantage in competing with the European. Okay, because European send their, you can say, goods in India in a cheaper rate, and Indian traders are not competing, not in a, you can say, equal position with the European traders, and they are in a disadvantaged position. For example, let's say a cloth which is manufactured in the Britain, and when they export in India, they do not have to pay custom duty, other transport duty. So let's say cost of that cloth is 20 rupees. But when Indian manufacturer manufactured that cloth, it cost 30 rupees. So the European sell it in a 20 rupees, Indian sell it at 30 rupees. So it is very obvious that people purchase the cloth which is cheaper. Both are of the same quality, but the price of a European cloth is cheaper than the Indian. And Dastak was an important factor in the impoverishment of Bengal under the early British rule. Okay, because people are not good in their trade and their economy. And this Dastak system also caused of a impoverishment in the Bengal. So I hope you remember the importance of Dastak, its significance, and why it is disadvantage for the Indian trader, and also a cause of impoverishment of Bengal. Impoverishment of Bengal. So in this picture, you can clearly see British ruler, Indian ruler. This picture show that the Dastak system is introduced by the British. Also, you can say Robert Clive, and you can relate it. I do not know he is a Mir Qasim or Mir Jafar or not, but you can just relate that British ruler do not pay taxes for trading privately in India. Now let's talk about the last topic called books and their author. So here I put four different picture of book and also their writers. So you have to remember it and also understand its importance. So Kama Sutra, it is a book by Vatsyayana. Okay, very important book for the sexual life of human being. And this is written by Vatsyayana. It is a very important because you know that nowadays very, you can say disease are spreading because people are not aware of their sexual choice, their sexual, you can say science behind the sexuality. So many people are prone to disease, these types of disease. That's why this book is very, very important. And also a writer, Vatsyayana, is also very important. So Kama Sutra, Vatsyayana. Next one is Ghata Sapta Sati. Ghata Sapta Sati, it is a book written by the Satvana king Hala. Okay. So name of the author is Hala and name of the movie Ghata Sapti Sati. I do not remember a background or context of this book, but just remember Gatha Sapta Sati is written by the Satvana king Hala. Okay. I think it is related with some sculpture or religious notation. Buddha Charita, very important about the life of Buddha. It is written by the Ashwaghosa. So Buddha Charita, Ashwaghosa. And next one is Bilind Panhu by Nagasena. It is basically a debate between a king and a Buddhist monk. Okay. So Milind Panhu is written by a Nagasena. I think, I do not know. Nagasena is a Buddhist monk and Milind is the name of the king. Okay. So there is a debate between Nagsen and Milind, and this Milind Panhu is written by the Nagasena. So I hope you understand the whole idea about these four important topics. Okay, important books and their authors. About we talk on Dastak, then on Daya Gaja Kesari, Raja Gaya Kesari, as well as name of the just a minute. Mudu, name of place where musical utensils are inscribed called Kudumian Malay. Okay, so four important issues related to history are Daya Gaja Kesari, Raja Gaya Kesari, Kudumian Malay, Dastak, as well as important authors and their books. Okay, so just summarize as the fourth topic: Raja Gaya Kesari, Gaya Gaja Kesari, Kudumian Malay, Dastak, and important books and their authors. I'm sorry. So remember, these are titles in the Kakatiya dynasty. This is a temple where classical ragas are inscribed in the 7th century AD. Dastak is a permit. Permit given by the Indian to the British East India Company for trade in India, and this is disadvantageous for the Indian traders and books and author like Buddha Charita, Ashwaghosa, Hala of Gata Saptasati, Kamasutra by Vatsayana, and Nagasena Milim Kanu. Now let's solve important question related to that topic. Okay. So first question is Raja Gaya Kesari and Daya Gaya Kesari are title associated with which of the following dynasty? We know that Kakatiya dynasty. Very simple. So option C is correct. Just check. Option C is correct. Okay. Now let's move on to the next topic. I'm sorry. Next question. Name the location of musical inscription containing group of musical notation notes arranged for the benefit of each peoples by a king in the 7th and 8th century CE. We know that the name of the place is called Kudu Mian Madai. Very simple. So option D is correct. Option D is correct. Now let's move on to the next question. So we check here, no? Option D is correct. We just check here. It is written that in our solution, option D is correct. Next question is, in the context of 18th century India, what is dastak? We know that dastak is basically permit, trade permit. So option C is correct. Option C is correct. Yes. Just check the answer. Now let's move on to the last question. Match list 1 and list 2 and select the correct answer from the code given below. We know that author and books. So Subhas is a writer of Buddha Charita. Vatsayana is author of Kama Sutra. Hala is author of Saptasati, Gata Saptasati, and Nagasena is a writer of Milim Kanu. So 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. Option A is correct. Just choose the answer. Option A is correct. That means we are on the right path. So I hope you love this video, you enjoy this video and gain some perspective, some knowledge out of it, and also learn new things which you are not learned yet. Okay. So Namaskaram. Thank you. Keep learning, keep growing. Namaskaram.